Oh, the excitement of it all. I'll tell you something, it's a big confession. When I have a day or two that are really satisfying and I feel accomplished, one of the things that actually happens to me is I become incredibly wired. And last night, case in point, that I was just so vibrant and awake, and I just wasn't tired at all. So I didn't bother getting into bed because I thought all I'm going to do is lie there for hours and hours and hours and not get to sleep, and it'd be frustrating, and it would actually in a way feel like a waste of time. You know, I wanted to ride the wave, but the thing is, what I ended up actually doing was watching quite a lot of stuff on YouTube. And I'll be honest, with all the stuff, even if it's kind of a pointless waste of time, you know, ephemeral and superficial kind of stuff, I do always learn things from it. I'm an incredibly observant and analytical person. But I've just recorded a video it's my daily Instagram video. And you can hop on over there to have a look at it, because the content that I do there, it's kind of more, it's shorter form. It's sort of how-to kind of stuff, you know, things that you can actually practically do on a daily basis, whether it is physical stuff that you can do or sort of meditative, kind of spiritual sort of things, but ways that you can improve your life. And what I aim to do, a big calling of mine, I think if it were a widely accepted calling, that in our individual ways with our unique perspectives, is starting to take far more personal responsibility. And life is such a process, and it's why when you get to a certain level of consistency, that the common advice that, you know, I will give and that a lot of other people will give is to start being more grounded and calmer in life, not looking for the sensationalism or just the mere engagement grabbing, that of course it is incredibly tempting to do, but to actually start being more adult. I kind of joke a lot, and I've been doing this recently, that we believe that we're looking at adults when we see somebody that's grown up, but really in a lot of cases what you're actually seeing is children who are behaviorally, who are, you know, who just have adult bodies. A lot of people are looking for a leader. They're looking for somebody who's going to make everything okay. And it's why we imbue and hope and pray that, you know, Elon Musk is going to sort out all of our problems, despite the fact that he wants to inject a fucking computer chip into your brain, that Donald Trump is going to do it for you, or, you know, insert whichever public figure, whether they're in the entertainment industry or if they're a politician. All these people can't do that for you. And I know that I get that. It's a very childlike sense of excitement and springiness, but I'll tell you what the after effect of it actually is. Well, it's something I've experienced a lot, and I'm sure that you will have at some point as well, is burnout, you know? And the reason that I mentioned that yesterday I was so wired and I was so excited and feeling so pleased that I ended up, you know, staying up for so long, it was that my brain was telling me, right, look, nope, you're just going to sleep now. You're going to sleep for far longer than will benefit you, but you need to recover from this sort of sense of excitement. And I'm not talking about dampening your spirit, but if we're going to grow, you have to be able in a in a calm kind of way to actually deal emotionally and psychologically and physically with everything that life is throwing at you. And people have tried to devise ways, many different ways of doing it. For some it's prayer, for some it's meditation, for some it's getting out for walks in nature, a whole variety of different ways that we've tried to figure it out. Drugs and alcohol and all these different things are ways of dealing with you could call it the onslaught of life, or frankly just what life throws at you. But that feeling of burnout, I don't like it, I don't like feeling completely depleted, which is why I believe that personal responsibility is such a powerful thing, because what it ultimately means is that you keep some energy for yourself. You learn to dissipate the after effects of whatever it is that you've done, and often that will be sort of doing more of what your natural calling is, that you actually start to acknowledge all of the good things that you're doing. Because I think a big disease that's affecting people is this sense of dissatisfaction. And really what that means, and I've had a big education of this in my former relationship that I've mentioned quite a lot on this YouTube channel, is you have to get over this idea that nothing is good enough. And I see a lot of people who clearly believe this, because you will talk to somebody like I talked with people at the company that I used to work at for a long time, from the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s, that you would ask somebody and it was kind of a joke, but there was a lot of truth in it, that a lot of people say, oh yeah, had a fantastic time on holiday, and it was always this phrase, it wasn't long enough. Oh yeah, it was brilliant, just wasn't long enough. And really it speaks to people's dissatisfaction with what they're doing. Now, we have to have resources in order to live. That's just a given. But there are other ways of doing it. I discovered a YouTube channel. It's called Richard the Fourth, and it's about an Englishman who's talking about political and cultural, social issues, etc., etc. And he was talking in a very recent video that he has a regular sort of full-time job, and that the YouTube channel stuff that he's doing and the articles that he's writing is part-time. But he wants to be in a position, like many do, and it's available to us now, far more so than it's ever been, to actually take his YouTube channel and the content creation that he's doing, take that full-time. And personal responsibility is what's going to drive you to do that. But the reason that you have to be patient with these things is that it does take time. And I know that I've experienced a huge degree of this desperation, of got to make this work, and no matter what. And even if when relationships, are the issue, that even if the other person doesn't want it, I'm so desperate to try and make it work. And of course, that will result in burnout as well, because no matter how hard you try in a relationship, if the other person isn't interested or isn't on the same page, it's hopeless. But we have this sense of hopium, that we want leaders and we want cultural figures to be able to try and help us. But of course they can't. They're so far removed from our lives. They're so far away, and we can put all of our faith into them, but believe not in false idols, and it is a dangerous thing to say, I am going to put myself first, and you can become quite nihilistic in that. And that's something else that I witness a lot. And I've done it a bit myself. But I put faith in my abilities, that I can improve my life by being in charge of it. And that means managing your emotions. It certainly means it means managing my emotions, because I can actually get sort of quite hyper and wired with all of it. And it is something that I'm actively working on at the moment, to be calmer, to be more settled and comfortable in my own skin, in my own beliefs, and expressing myself in a way that is truthful and assertive, but not overblown, not sensationalist, not, desperate. And I'll be honest, it's not an easy thing to do, but I definitely believe it is a worthwhile thing to do. Have a good think about it.